Hello, today I'll be giving my informed speech, and here's my audience. And we have two people on FaceTime. Okay. Have you ever wondered what it would be like if 6 of the 7 continents gathered together to watch one televised event? The World Cup is a global phenomenon that happens every 4 years that brings 3.5 billion viewers together to watch a sports event. We all are familiar from what the World Cup is through our own knowledge of soccer or through our friends' knowledge or anyone else that has informed us. But I just want to dive deeper into the history of the World Cup and overall the background. The World Cup is a global event, like I stated earlier, and it has been ongoing for around 92 years now. And the first host country of the World Cup was Uruguay, and Uruguay won that World Cup, surprisingly, and the FIFA organization was created in 1904, that being the bridge to the international soccer and all the other committees. Like I said, has been held every 4 years, but during the World War II, it was not held for obvious reasons. And now the World Cup has expanded to many nations and has included smaller nations that have wide notoriety of soccer that's starting to grow. And they've also created Women's World Cup too. The current World Cup that's being held in Qatar is the largest World Cup that's ever happened, with the cost of it being $200 billion, which is a large sum of money, and instead of 16 teams being hosted, it holds 32 teams. And a quote from Pinnacle.com says, an event drew average crowds of around 32,000 per match, that being the first World Cup, is now compared to a crowd of 3.5 billion viewers, which is a significant increase. The World Cup has a large history around it, and I want to get into the importance of how it affects our society. It overall just brings our nations together into a unified place where everyone can just get together and just watch an event that's occurring on television. And it's also watched, like I said, around for 1 billion people, and it's the largest sporting event right next to the Olympics. It puts the spotlights on many small nations and struggling nations so they can get televised and see their nations thrive in an environment where they can be unified and show their nation what they're truly about. The World Cup blocks out all the stigmas that are haunting that said nation too, that being wars or any political disagreements that are currently occurring, and it overall just brings the 6 continents together. The World Cup also, and quote by krwg.org, sums up what pretty much is how our society reacts to the World Cup. The office turned to a potluck dinner with my employees wearing their official jerseys cheering. That just shows how much it means to people and how it can just gather people among the society. The World Cup might seem all good, but there are many dark blotches that are currently haunting the World Cup, and there are currently ongoing investigations about it. The World Cup is built behind slave labor, vote corruption, and it's also sports washing. So let's get into slave labor first. The slave labor pretty much transpires from migrant people that are being taken from their countries by false advertising in a way, and being put to work in harsh environment and lied to, underpaid, and just having just ridiculous work rates. The death toll of these migrant workers is around 6,500 people by just them building these large, enormous stadiums that they were forced to build. Also, another big event that's going on is that the FIFA community has now been put in the spotlight of them buying votes, especially the Qatari side. The Qatari government has been now in the backfire of just buying a lot of votes from other committee members, because they have unlimited money from their natural resources, and just, yeah. Sports washing is a term that is not new to a lot of sport events, and sport washing pretty much means like whenever your country is struggling or has any dark blotches, they pretty much take a sports event and just block out all that dark past. A quote by the conversation says, using sport as a tool of soft power to clean and distract from a murky political or humanitarian reputation. Pretty much sums up what sports washing is, and that impacts the World Cup because it overall just creates that unfair atmosphere. And the fans seem to ignore it because they just want to watch the World Cup and not pay attention to all the back end and how it could really influence just corruption overall. So in conclusion, the World Cup is an event that is super important to our nations because it connects all the nations together and it creates an atmosphere where everyone can be at peace and watch an event that is just spans across 6 continents. But it's not a event that definitely does not have their dark blotches, that being all the corruption, the slave labor, and all the other factors. Thank you for.
Yeah.